A couple drops off their daughter, saying she will be in their care and hoping to see them soon. It was 15 years ago when he was 5 years old. Lee Hyun, his stepsister who is 2 years older than him, came to his house. A young Taesung is informed that Hoon will be his new sister living with them from now on and asks how he's going to greet her, so Taesung annoyingly makes a face at her, infuriating Hoon. That day was his first time meeting his sister. His parents owed a lot to her parents, which is why they decided to take care of his sister. While her parents wanted to continue the expansion of their booming business, they went to the United States, and so it was sudden that Lee Hae-in started living with him. In elementary school, they used to fight each other. In middle school, they tried to stay away from each other as much as possible. In high school, Taesung and Haeun continue fighting each other, and presently, Haeun annoyingly asks why she has to help him if he's going to clean up his room. Taesung insists that she should help if she has a conscience. Recalling how his mother used to give Haeun his money since she was a kid, they ate the rice his mother prepared together, be it clothing, food, cell phones, or any other necessities. Everything came from this house. Taesung annoyingly tells Hyun to stop talking and get started because this is his parents' house. Hyun mutters that he should also do some cleaning then, but Taesung tells her to just do her job. He remarks that Lee Hae-in was very thankful for everything his parents did for her. Presently, she asks if he's not looking for a part-time job anymore, but Taesung says he doesn't know what she's talking about, and that he's going to play a little bit since he's tired. He informs her that mom will be home late today, so she should at least try to make a decent kimchi soup tonight for dinner. Haeun asks if he wants to die, but Taesung grins and says he'll be leaving now since he has an appointment. Hyun slowly asks where he's going, so he announces that he's going out drinking with some friends and tells her to take good care of his house, but she smacks him on his head. Later in a restaurant, Taesung's friend Kim Jung-jae asks if he's seriously saying he can't even do a favor for a friend, and suggests that he should bring his sister just once so that they can have a drink together. Yoonbom tells Jung-jae to stop bothering her and asks if he really thinks Taesung would want to bring his sister. Kang Yeonwoo suggests that he could bring his sister as well since there's nothing wrong with it. As Taesung takes a swig, he remarks that he didn't tell them that Lee Hyun wasn't his real sister, but acknowledges that he and Hyun don't really have a normal relationship. It's the same with Bom. Bom cheerily says Taesung's sister won't come, even if it takes 100 years, as Taesung inwardly says. Yoonbom isn't someone he has known for a long time. They met while playing, somehow, they became close, and now she's their friend. Youngjae tells Taesung he really envies them since he lives with a sister like her who takes good care of him with her angelic face and slender body. Youngjae drunkenly tells Taesung to be honest with him and asks if he would have preferred if Haeun wasn't his sister, but Bom tells him to stop saying such things. Yoonwoo mutters that Jungjae says that because he doesn't have a younger or older sister, in fact, if he did, he wouldn't think the same way. Taesung acknowledges that just sharing space with someone you don't get along with can be very annoying. Yoonwoo asks Taesung if he and Hyun argue and fight like brothers, so Taesung admits he could say that, inwardly remarking that they argue and have fights. Yeonwoo then starts talking about how Taesung and Hyun see each other, and later as Taesung is walking back home, he remarks that Lee Hyun is so pretty that every time he drinks with Jungjae, he usually makes a fuss. But he remembers other students in high school being jealous of Taesung since they thought he was Hyun's boyfriend. Presently, he wonders what would have happened if it weren't for the sibling relationship they have. When Taesung returns home, Hyun asks what he's staring at and if there's something on her face, so Taesung annoyingly says he really wants to go to hell when he sees her face hearing, which she angrily questions if he wants to die. A few days later, Taesung's parents are going to their grandpa's house. His mother tells them to eat well, and his father tells him to not bother his sister since he's not a kid anymore. When they leave, Taesung wearily says he needs to go out for a drink. Hyun asks if he's really going and suggests that they watch a movie since it's not like he has other things to do. Taesung annoyingly asks what nonsense she's spouting now and says she can watch it herself since he's going to play some video games for a while. Hyun says it's a horror movie and she's too scared to watch it alone, so he just has to sit quietly. Taesung wearily decides to let her win this time and sits down on the couch above her. Hyun asks why he's sitting there, so he tells her to not say anything because he just likes to be on the couch. However, if she doesn't like where he's sitting, he can leave so that she can watch it on her own. However, she says it's fine and tells him to just sit there. A while later, as they're watching the movie, an embarrassing scene comes on, so Taesung jokingly reminds Hyun that she's the one who picked this movie for them to watch. However, he surprisingly notices that Hyun isn't looking his way and looks embarrassed. He suddenly remembers what Yunwoo said about how one can tell if a woman sees them as a man or not. He jokingly scoots over behind Haeun, but shockingly realizes she still isn't reacting, seeing which he questions what the hell this means. Taesung hurriedly gets up, saying this movie isn't good and that he's going to leave since he needs to do a quest in his game. Later, as Taesung is lying on the bed, he nervously remarks that he can't control his excitement from before and wonders what he should do since this has never happened before. He asks himself if he should just pretend it was all a joke, but Haeun silently enters his room. She slowly asks if he's asleep and says she's scared from watching the movie and can't sleep alone. She sees that he seems to be asleep and lies down beside him on the bed. Taesung wonders what's with her since she's usually not like this, and inwardly questions if he should tell her to get up and go to her room since this is uncomfortable. The next morning, Haeun annoyingly tells Taesung to get up and questions if he's still sleeping even though it's 6 in the evening right now. Her friend Han Yura smilingly tells her to not yell at him so much and to let him sleep in a little more. Haeun mutters that this idiot needs to fix his bad sleeping habits, but Taesung says she's being shameless and reminds her that it's because of her. Haeun asks what she did, but Taesung blushingly gets up and says it's nothing. Haeun hurriedly asks where he's going, but he swears he has an appointment and has to get going now since he's going to be late. Yura slowly asks if something's wrong with Taesung since he left in a hurry, but Haeun doesn't say anything and looks away. Meanwhile, Bom receives a call from Taesung who asks if they can meet. When Bom asks if something's up, Taesung asks if friends need a reason to drink together. Later in a restaurant, he remarks that he'd like to forget about it, but he wonders if he fell in love with her and reminds himself that they're actual siblings. However, he admits they aren't blood-related and asks himself if he's weird. He mutters that he was nervous yesterday and pretended to be asleep, but he starts to imagine things with Haeun and stops himself. As Bom arrives, he remarks that she's someone he can talk to freely without any concerns. Bom asks what he's wearing since one has to dress nicely when they go out, but Taesung says she should have got here sooner since he thought he was going to die alone. He thinks about how Jungjae and Yunwoo would have just said a bunch of crap without realizing how serious the situation is, but Bom is different since she always listens to his problems, and is a woman just like Haeun. Bom smilingly asks why he suddenly wanted to see her, so Taesung hesitantly says he'll tell her after drinking. After a couple of drinks, as they're laughingly talking about video games, Taesung wonders when he should mention it since he's still drinking. Bom sets down her glass and asks if he's worried about something. She sits next to him and tells him to scoot over for a second. She rests her head on his shoulders, muttering that she's had too much to drink and feels a little tired now. Taesung asks if she's drunk since she started acting like this out of nowhere, so Bom asks if he remembers how she was being followed by a stalker when she used to work part-time. The stalker would wait until she got off work, but one day, Taesung offered to go with her. Bom worryingly asked if he'll be all right, so he told her to not worry because he still had time. For a while, he walked her home, and because of how confident and strong he looked, she felt relieved. Presently, she says she may be able to help him with whatever his problem is, and might be able to help him so he shouldn't worry, and should just tell her what's troubling him. Taesung nervously stays silent and reveals that Haeun isn't really his sister. Surprised, Bom asks if they're related, but he says it's not like that either. Since she is neither his sister nor his cousin, she's kind of like a stranger. As Bom reacts with surprise, Taesung reveals that they've been living together for a long time. He was 5 years old when she moved in with them. He adds that last night, they slept in the same bed, but he doesn't know why he's feeling so weird since his heart started to race. He says he doesn't know if that makes him weird, but he doesn't know what to do next time, which is why he called her here. He asks her to keep it a secret from the others because he trusts her, but Bom suddenly gets up saying they should leave because she's tired. Taesung asks if she wants to leave already, so she mutters that she'll pay the bill since she's drank all the alcohol. Later, Taesung surprisingly sees that the bus going to Bom's house is out of service, and she can't take a cab in her current state by herself either. Bom looks at a motel near them and says she wants to rest because her legs hurt. Taesung asks if she wants to rest for a while in the park before they leave, but Bom asks why they're going to rest in the park when they can get a room at the motel, rest for a little bit, and then go home. She blushingly asks if he can pay for the room since she paid for the alcohol. The receptionist tells Taesung and Bom their room is number 501, as he wonders if he's really going to be resting at a motel with Bom. When they enter their room, Bom tells him to lie down, but he hurriedly says it's okay since he can just sit on the floor. Bom asks him to hold her hand, so he nervously complies, but he suddenly walks out of the room. As he's walking home, he remarks that that was going to be a big problem. He would regret it if he did something like that with Bom, who's like a sister to him. However, thanks to Bom's advice, he's realized what he should do about this situation. At home, he asks his parents where Haeyeon is and walks into her room. She hurriedly gets up and asks if he doesn't know how to knock since she was watching a movie, but Taesung flips on the lights and asks if she remembers what she did when she came to his room last night. Haeyeon hurriedly turns away and asks Taesung what he's talking about, questioning if he just barged into her room just to say something so insane like that. She tells him to get out so that she can watch her movie, but Taesung suddenly grabs her hand. Hearing the noise, his mother wonders what he and Haeyeon are doing, but her husband tells her to leave him be since they're probably just messing around outside. Taesung's mother mutters that he was looking for Haeyeon as soon as he got home and wonders what they're doing in there. She suggests that she should go get them some snacks, but her husband tells her to just let them be, asking if she thinks they've grown up really well since. Sometimes they do fight like real siblings, but then they get along like good friends. She acknowledges that that's true and says it's nice to see them getting along so well. Later, Taesung leaves Haeyeon's room, seeing which his mother asks what he was doing with her in there since they heard weird thumping noises coming from the room. Taesung hurriedly says they were sorting some of her things, and he helped move her furniture. His father says it's really nice to see the two of them helping each other out like that. He asks if he's seen the news and tells him to not invest in the trending coins, so Taesung mutters that he doesn't even have the money to buy food. Hyun walks out of her room as well and locks eyes with Taesung for a moment before heading to the bathroom. A few days later, Taesung remarks that after what happened, they haven't spoken a single word to each other and admits it'll obviously be awkward after something like that happened between siblings. He beats himself up and questions why he had to make such a mess. And so, time passed with an awkward atmosphere between Taesung and Haeyeon. Someone knocks on Taesung's door, so he assumes it's his mom and tells her to come in. However, Haeyeon unexpectedly enters his room, surprising him. Taesung wonders why she's come to his room and nervously asks what she's doing in his room. But Haeyeon kicks him and asks why he's stuttering so much. She explains that mom said she wants to clean her room and told her to sit around here for a while. Taesung questions if she's gone insane and asks why she's referring to his mom as her mom, so Haeyeon annoyingly tells him to shut up since she told her to call her that since ages ago. She tells him to move over because she wants to lie down and watch a movie. Taesung annoyingly gets up, remarking that it seems her attitude hasn't changed one bit. He admits her not coming in here for some other reason is good, because what happened that night was a mistake. He sits down on the floor, remarking that it's kind of a letdown. He tells himself to forget about it and treat her like his sister again. Taesung's mother calls him from outside and knocks on the door before entering, asking what they're doing. She sees Haeyeon and Taesung looking out of breath and asks if they both fought again. She opens the window to let some air in and tells Taesung to stop fighting with his sister. She tells them both to go outside for a bit while she mops the floor. Later in a restaurant, Youngji tells Haeyeon he can't believe she's drinking with them and assures her that she's always welcome here. She cheerily thanks them and says they're both so much better than Taesung hearing, which he annoyingly tells her to shut up. She angrily asks what he said and tells him to show some respect before they both start arguing. Yeonwoo says he didn't think they were that alike. But looking at them like this, he can see that they're really similar, and it's obvious that they're siblings. They both stay silent for a moment before Taesung annoyingly asks Yeonwoo if he's gone crazy, and Haeyeon wearily mutters that she's disappointed in him since she can't believe he thinks she's like this idiot in any way. She says she'll forgive him if he takes it back right now, and Taesung says he'd rather Yeonwoo swears at him. They suddenly ask Haeyeon why she doesn't have a boyfriend since it seems like she hasn't ever had a boyfriend, and he was wondering if she was interested in dating at all. Haeyeon unexpectedly reveals that she actually has someone she likes, surprising Taesung. Yeonwoo asks what kind of guy he is, but she says it's a secret. Taesung inwardly admits this annoys him a bit before Jungjae asks her if she would give someone a chance if Taesung introduced them to her. Yeonwoo jokingly asks if he's trying to shoot his shot here, before Haeyeon says she's not looking for someone to date at the moment. Taesung cheerily says Haeyeon can't date, and questions what kind of guy would like her when he's the only one who can take care of her. Jungjae asks why he's the one taking care of her, and tells Haeyeon to say something, so she's about to say something, but suddenly winces. Jungjae asks if something's wrong, and if Taesung stepped on her foot, so she blushingly confirms that he did. Haeyeon suddenly gets up, saying she's going to the bathroom and walks away, seeing which Taesung wonders if he should follow her, since he doesn't know if she actually needs to go to the bathroom. Taesung catches up with Hyun and asks why she's taking a shot at him when he's just going to the bathroom hearing, which she mutters that he always has to have the last word. At their table, Jungjae asks Yunwoo what's taking Taesung so long, so he suggests that he might have slipped on the door and fallen. Bomb surprisingly appears in front of them and cheerily asks where Taesung's gone, so Yunwoo believes he must have gone to buy something for Haeun for her hangover. Surprised, Jungjae mutters that that's weird for siblings to do. Bomb asks if Taesung's sister is here too, so they confirm it, but say they've gone for now, hearing which Bomb becomes annoyed. Taesung and Bomb check outside the bathroom to confirm that no one is watching, and he tells her to come out later. When he arrives at their table, he's surprised to see Bomb sitting there as well, and asks how she got here, so she says she came as soon as she was done with her plans. Jungjae asks him if he was on the phone, but Yunwoo laughingly says he doesn't have anyone to call him. Hyun arrives and asks who this is, so Jungjae cheerily welcomes her back. Bomb asks Taesung if this is his sister, and happily introduces herself as Taesung's friend. Taesung tells the waiter they need another seat, but Hyun says it's okay, saying she'll head home first since she's not feeling well. Jungjae asks her to stay a bit longer, but Hyun proposes that they can hang out more next time, and Yunwoo agrees that she doesn't look so good since she seems to be sweating a lot. Hyun starts blushing and hurriedly says she'll get going, but Taesung annoyingly says she's playing hard to get, inwardly muttering that she should have waited so that they could leave together. However, he acknowledges that they'll see each other at home, even though what she said about already having someone she likes keeps echoing in his head. He tells himself that if he starts thinking about this now, he won't be able to stop. Yunwoo asks Taesung what he's doing and tells him to order a drink for Bomb, so he cheerily says they should have some fun together. Bomb suddenly asks Taesung if they can drink together sometime soon. Taesung is confused about what she said, so she says she would like to be friends with his sister. 2 days later, Taesung and Hyun are watching a movie when he remembers how Bomb reminded him that she's never really had the chance to talk to Hyun and would really like to get to know her, so Taesung cheerily agrees to ask her. He remarks that the thing he told Bomb about last time is weighing on him a bit and wonders if it'll be fine, deciding to ask her about it later. Hyun asks where Mom and Dad have gone, so Taesung explains that they went on a camping trip with their friends and said they'd be back by tomorrow, so Hyun says they should make dinner plans in that case. Taesung asks if she can make him roast chicken since he's craving it, but she tells him to shut up and go make it himself. A woman rings the doorbell and wonders if Taesung's family went somewhere since she wanted to give them some bread that she bought, and was looking forward to seeing Taesung's face as she's revealed to be Youngjia, the Taesung family's next-door neighbor. Jia's daughter, Kwon Lisa, tells her to come back inside since she saw their neighbors leaving earlier, so Jia suggests that Taesung could be home, but Lisa annoyingly tells her to just come back inside. Taesung tells Hyun that Bomb wants to meet with her and asks if she wants to go, reminding her of how she met Bomb when they went drinking together last time. He wonders if it's bad to talk about another girl, but Hyun agrees since Bomb is the one friend of his that she doesn't know very well yet, and it'll be nice if they can be friends. 2 days later in a restaurant, Hyun asks Taesung if he knows the owner here, since he always comes here to drink, but he shuts her up, saying it's because the snacks here are the cheapest. He sees that she didn't dress up at all, so she says she just did some basic makeup. Taesung acknowledges that she shouldn't sweat about it since Bomb did say she wasn't going to dress up either. Hyun admits dressing up is a pain and says Bomb seems really thoughtful, so Taesung confirms that she's a good kid and says that's why they're friends. However, he's shocked to see that Bomb has really dressed up. However, she says she just threw something on last minute. Taesung asks her to have a seat, but she tells him to sit opposite Hyun since she wants to get closer to her. Surprised, Taesung agrees and cheerily sees that Hyun doesn't know how to react at all because of how clingy Bomb is. Bomb tells Hyun she looks really good in sweats and admits she's jealous since they don't suit her at all. Hyun blushingly thanks her, and a while later, Bomb laughingly tells her about how Taesung cried a lot after he got dumped. Hyun agrees that he really is a crybaby hearing, which he annoyingly says they're really cruel. Bomb cheerily says they really are siblings since she can smell Taesung's scent on her and jokes about it. Bomb tells Hyun they should go to the bathroom together, but Taesung asks if she can't just go by herself. Bomb annoyingly asks if he doesn't know that girls always go to the bathroom together. Seeing her and Hyun interact, Taesung remarks that everything seems to be fine and asks how anything could be awkward when Bomb is around. In the bathroom, Bomb touches up her makeup and says it looks really good today before Hyun annoyingly asks what she wants to say to her. Bomb starts being mean to her, but Haeun hurriedly leaves the bathroom. Taesung cheerily sees that Haeun is back and says they should go for another round since he'll pay. But Haeun mutters that she's leaving so he can take Bomb and drink some more if he wants. However, Taesung grabs her hand, saying she left really early last time too, and tells her to stay a little longer, but Haeun angrily tells him to let go of her hand, shocking him. Bomb reveals that Haeun said she has to leave since something's come up, as Haeun swiftly walks away. As Haeun is hurriedly walking through the city, she angrily questions how Taesung could tell Bomb about that, and why it had to be her of all people when it was their secret, and tearfully calls him a jerk. Meanwhile, Bomb says they should drink some more since they're already out, but Taesung mutters that the places around here are all noisy. He mutters that he needs to think for a bit and wonders what happened for Haeun to be so angry, since she doesn't get mad without reason. He wearily questions what's going on before Bomb suddenly grips his arm and suggests that they should go to a motel.